Howdy folks, and welcome to the Hillbilly Kitchen. Today we're making poor husband's casserole. And this is another really quick, really easy 30-minute meal that you can make for around 10 bucks. You can feed your family on those busy weeknights, and everybody's gonna love it. Now, this is a stovetop casserole, and anytime you're making casseroles, keep in mind that a casserole's original purpose was to kind of clean out anything you had left over or to use anything you needed to use. And since we're making poor husband's casserole, that's a good time to make substitutions with what you got. But what you need is about a pound of ground meat. Now I'm using ground beef, and I got it on sale this week, y'all. Woohoo! $3 a pound. I know, that's unheard of in these times. You need an onion. You can use onion powder or onion salt if you don't have an onion or you don't have time to chop it. I had a little bell pepper in my fridge that needed used, so I chopped it up and I'm going to throw it in with my hamburger meat. Totally optional. You need about 1.5 cups of tomato sauce. Now you can use fresh tomatoes and like blend them up. You can use plain tomato sauce, or you can use leftover spaghetti sauce. And I opened this jar last night and made me and Melinda 2 little garlic toast pizzas. This jar has about 3 cups in it. I only need half of this jar. And if you use this, you don't have to add a lot of spices to it. Now, if you're using plain tomato, you're going to want to have some oregano, some garlic, some Italian seasoning, something like that to kind of spice it up a little bit. You need about 3 cups or so of egg noodles. I just put about half the bag in there. You need 2 cups of liquid. You can use beef broth, or you can use water and bouillon, or you can use plain water if you don't have bouillon. In tough times, get you some bouillon, whether it's the cubes or this better than bouillon stuff, because it adds a ton of flavor to cheap meals. And you can also stretch your beef. If you're using bouillon or bouillon cubes, you could actually double everything else in this and it would still have plenty of flavor. So if you got a big group to feed, that's how you do it. I've got a couple cups of cheese, shredded cheese, any shredded cheese will work. And I got one of the big 2-pound bags. They had it on sale for $5. I mean, $5 for 2 pounds of shredded cheese, that's pretty good. And you need about 1 cup of sour cream. Pretty much everything I'm using, something I had left over, something I needed to use, or something that was on sale. So we're going to start by warming our skillet up. And we're going to add in our beef and kind of bust it up a little bit. And then we're going to put in our onion. And if you want to put in a bell pepper, or maybe you want it spiced up, you want to use a hot pepper, do that. It's your dinner, especially if you got a pepper you need to use. Throw it in there. But I'm going to put this in with the beef and let it go ahead and cook. And I'm going to add just a little bit of salt and pepper. Now be careful with the salt, especially if you're using broth or bouillon and you're using a sauce that is already seasoned, because this stuff is going to have salt in it. So don't overdo it with the salt. But I do want to put some in here. Put some pepper in here. I'm also going to put just a little bit of garlic powder in with my ground beef and my onions and peppers. And you can use fresh garlic if you have that. Now we want to cook this until it's brown. And then we're going to add in this stuff. Well, this stuff. When we get it to a boil, we're going to add in the noodles. Okay, once our beef is browned and it is cooked pretty thoroughly, we can adjust the grease if you want to. Now, taking out the fat is going to remove calories, but it's also going to remove some flavor. Something else it's going to do is it's going to make this not quite as filling. If you are feeding a whole bunch of people, well, that's kind of a cool trick if you can get it out. That's a new trick there. Use a turkey baster to adjust the grease. I have never done that before, but it's certainly cheaper than my paper towel method. So using a turkey baster to remove the grease does work, and you don't risk spilling your dinner in the sink. And I know a lot of folks are not using paper towels because of the bleach in them, and also a lot of folks don't use them because they're getting incredibly expensive. That's something else I usually buy on sale, and I usually buy it in bulk. And I had to buy some the other day just because I was in a hurry, and I could not believe how expensive paper towels had gotten. So I think I'll be removing my grease with a turkey baster from now on. It's washable and it works well. Give that a try. Anyways, removing that grease is going to make your dish less filling. It's going to have fewer calories. Some people believe it's healthier. I don't know about that. It's certainly not going to be as heavy. But if you have to feed a lot of people with this, and according to the FDA's new guidelines, 2 ounces of meat is a serving. So that means this could feed up to 8 people with this much ground beef. You would want to double, like I said, everything else. And when I was a kid, a lot of times that's how we ate meat. It was more of a seasoning than it was a main part of the dish. And in dishes like Poor Husband's Casserole, you can certainly use it as a seasoning. And you can double everything else and, you know, feed a whole lot of people. Anyway, you want to go ahead and dump your water in there, or your broth. And if you're going to do the bouillon, put it in there so it can dissolve. And if you are using water, you are going to want to add some salt for your pasta. If you're using the Better Than Bouillon or bouillon cubes, it has salt in it. I would completely cook it and then taste it. I would not add any salt to this pot if I was using this stuff or bouillon cubes or even broth. And we're also going to add in our 1.5 cups of tomato sauce. I really like that turkey baster trick there, which is about half of this jar. Yep, that looks about right. You know, grocery store sales are your best friend during tough times. Like I said, I got all this on sale, and I'm making this for about $7 because everything that's going in here is on sale. But you can make it for about $10. And the jarred sauce, I usually buy it when the grocery stores have it, buy one, get one free. If you want a cheaper noodle than an egg noodle, do bow ties. When they have pasta, buy one, get one free, and they do all the time. You can get a pound for less than $1 during those sales, and you're only using about half a pound in this, maybe even a little less, about half a pound of pasta. Anyway, we're going to bring this to a boil, and then we're going to add our pasta. Okay, our pot's boiling. Now we're going to add our pasta, and we're going to cook it like we would just cook the pasta. Stir it occasionally and cook it until the pasta is tender and the liquid has mostly absorbed. It's a good idea to check the cooking time on your bag or box of pasta. This said 7 to 9 minutes, I think. So you're going to cook it at least that long, but because there is only enough liquid in here to cook this, it might take it just a little bit longer. For some reason, in my experience, sometimes it does. So we're just going to cook it, like I said, until the liquid is mostly absorbed and the pasta is tender. Check your package to see how long to cook it, and then test your pasta at the end of that cooking time to see if it's cooked. It's definitely not going to be mushy if you cook it for the amount of time on the package. So start checking it at whatever time your package says. This is 7 to 9 minutes, so at about 7 minutes, I'm going to start checking the pasta to see if it's tender. Okay, you do want to stir this fairly often while your pasta is cooking. And you can see here that almost all of my liquid is gone. I have cooked it for the recommended time on the pasta, and it is tender. It's not super soft by any means, but this is going to continue to cook for a few minutes as we add in our sour cream and our cheese. So you want to get it, you know, right there to that point where it's just almost done. And like I said, most of the liquid is gone. I'll stir it again so you can kind of see that we have very little liquid left in here. That's what you want, but now we're just going to add in a cup of sour cream and our 2 cups of cheese, and you can adjust the cheese to suit your taste and your budget. Put in however much you want. You could even keep the cheese and serve it on the table, which would probably use less than mixing it in the pot. So just add in, I'm going to put about half of this because this is 2 cups. You don't have to be super precise with it. And I know folks are going to ask, I have not substituted Greek yogurt for the sour cream, but you probably could, I think. You can in most recipes. And then we're just going to stir this up and let it melt. And I think I'm going to go ahead and cut my heat off, because in this cast iron Dutch oven, if I don't, all of my cheese will burn and stick to the bottom of my pot. Now, if it's in the winter time and it's cold when you're making this and you want to warm the house up a little bit, you could certainly put this in the oven and kind of brown the top a little bit. That is entirely up to you, but you do not have to. It's ready to serve just like it is. It's super cheesy, super creamy, and very filling. Even though we took the fat out, we've got fat in the meat, we've got fat in the cheese that we put in, and we've got fat in the sour cream. So it's going to be extremely filling. Unless you're really stretching it. Most of us do not need that much fat in our diet. But again, it's up to you whether or not you take any out or you leave it all in. I mean, look at how creamy this is, and it does have some stringy cheese pull in it. That's why I said the kids are going to love it. Everybody's going to like it. It's going to fill everybody up. Let it sit for just a minute so everything kind of sort of has a chance to come together. Not, you don't have to let it sit a real long time. If it's in the summertime, you can certainly serve it with some fresh garden vegetables, whatever kind you like. Just cut them up and put them on the table with it. When I was growing up in the summertime in season, we got cucumbers and tomatoes with every single meal because they're easy to grow, they grow fast, and you have an overabundance of them when you garden. A lot of times in the winter and in the summer, we might have a fruit cobbler with a meal like this because there would be canned or frozen fruit or fresh fruit that we had gone out and picked. And fruit cobblers are a great dessert, fairly healthy even. So make a cobbler to go with this, or just serve some fresh fruit with it. While we're letting this set up just a little bit, we have been talking a lot about letting God direct our lives and giving Him our life. And Proverbs 16:3 is another one of those verses that goes along with that. It says, "Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established." That's kind of what that says translated into English, is that if we commit our effort, if we give our labor to God, if we put our faith in Him, give Him our works, He will make our dreams come true, our thoughts. Now, here's the warning that goes along with that. When you do that, when you give your life to God, when you give Him your labor and you let Him direct your path, be prepared for your dreams to change, because His ways are greater than our ways, and His dreams are greater than yours. As somebody who has outlived their dreams, I promise you that's true. So, something else you can serve with this is some garlic bread. And that's something else that I had left over from the live stream, the last live stream that I did with Melinda. So I toasted up a piece of that, and we can serve that up with a little piece of garlic bread or fresh vegetables. They would be healthier. But we do have the tomato in here. We've got the meat in here. We've got the cheese in here. This is a very hearty, complete meal, just like it is. And I know it's one that your family is going to love. It's one of those that got our grandmas through tough times, and it'll get us through some tough times too. Thank you so very much for joining us again in the Hillbilly Kitchen. Thank you for being part of our family. If you have not already, please don't forget to click like and subscribe before you leave. Leave us a comment and share our videos with your friends. And until next time, remember to put God first.